I'm Kymara Akinpelumi and this is my self-portrait. It's called Caught in the Act.
Hi, I'm Tino and this is my self-portrait, Home. And it was taken around last year during COVID, and it was for a project where I had to sort of reflect on myself. When I was doing the image, when I was photographing, I didn't quite understand what I was doing at the time. The more I sort of hand printed it, I like to print on film, so the more I kind of went through my process, I started to realise that, you know, what I was actually doing in this image was head carrying something really fragile, really light, something that I sort of remember from my childhood back home, seeing my aunties carrying water, any sort of goods on their head, and water is like heavy, so you'd carry like a ton of water on your head, and it looks like it's heavy, but it's kind of a skill, and once you know how to do it, it feels like nothing's on your head. That's kind of what I was kind of reflecting on, that sort of nostalgic memory. Yours as well, you're sort of wearing a headdress as well.
My portrait is from like a wider series called Dichotomy. Portraits are about being mixed in every sense of the word. So like when I was growing up, I had like, my mum and dad were split, so I was going from my dad's to my mum's house, and the environments were very different, one very liberal, one very strict. I was from a very low income family and I was in a very middle class area. So I would be in different environments like that all the time. And I'm mixed, so, you know, whilst I experience sort of racial oppression, I also can recognise my white privilege. So in this, I created the series Dichotomy that sort of explores those themes. And this particular portrait with the headwear, my mum was always like very pro-fro. You know, if I tried to straighten my hair when I was a teen, she would always say, don't do that, don't mess with your hair. Pupils at school, they would always just say like, oh, you look so nice with straight hair, like it's better when you straighten it. Or like they'd refer to me the name as like black footballers if I wore natural hairstyles. It's very common.
Especially with the cornrows.
Yes, exactly. In this portrait, I'm sort of reminiscing on my childhood. I go back and I'm wearing this, like you say, this sort of cloth that resembles the same as like tights that I wore to just sort of lock the moisture in my hair at night when I was younger. And I'm trying the wig on. But the idea is that I'm sort of being caught by the lens, which is as my mother. You can sort of see that I feel quite exposed. It's like a bit of a paradox, like I have the desire to be seen. I want to be seen by other people, other pupils in my class. But by doing that, I sort of conceal myself.
If you look at my whole contact sheet, it was quite a lot of different poses that I was doing, and all of them were quite strong poses that I was doing. And looking back, I just kind of felt like, you know, this is not the image that I want to show, because I'm not always that strong black woman, and I can be also fragile. And I think there's a balance between that, and I wanted to show that in an image.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely
somehow.
does. Yeah.
And I hope it kind of reflects to that.
When you're doing self-portraits, they speak words that you wouldn't be able to articulate until you've actually seen and reflected on the images.